Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. No, she couldn't just go that gently into the night. No, she has to write a book, 107 days that she had to become president on a campaign that had never been attempted before in human history. I'm gonna write a book on how bad, how mean the Republican Party is, the conservatives, the MAGA. He's just a fascist, racist, Nazi, sexist, homophobe. I told y'all. I told you. Now I gotta write a book so I can tell you again. And here's Rachel Maddow, just glee from ear to ear on the very first interview that Kamala is exclusively giving to her on PSNBC. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, PMS NBC, Rachel Maddow, interviewing Kamala. And Kamala's like, woe is me. Woe is me. And I warned everybody about Trump being a fascist dictator. Look what he did to Kimmel. I don't care what it is. It's always going to be Trump's fault. It's going to be Trump's fault. Hey, did y'all see the bust? Faulkner had a report on it. They found all this stuff that could just spam like hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of text messages to blow up everybody's phone and just shut down everything. Wow, who can we thank for that? We could thank the Biden Harris, the border czar, for this. Now, they are such hypocrites. Oh my God. So, this whole time they're in office, all these people pour over the border. And now, we're seeing this being infiltrated by criminals inside the country and foreigners outside the country, plotting to destroy our communication system, to wreak havoc upon us. We can thank Kamala, but no, Kamala's got to write a book saying how she just wants a seat at the table. And she's been in public office most of her life, working for the people, the common people, the children. She's been there for them. She has. She's been there to kill them before they're even born. She's been there to help them mutilate them after they're born. She is for the children and for the American people. Because America is the beacon for you all to come in here. And then you can abort your children. You can mutilate your children. And you can become an American citizen. And we're going to give you a phone. We're going to put you up in a high-rise hotel. All you got to do is vote for us. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. But her book, she's telling us, I told y'all when I was stomping for president, I told you what Trump administration was going to do. While she was telling us this, our nation was crumbling from crime. Let's defund the police. Let's just not have bail for criminals. It's just a headache, right? It's just paperwork. It's a hassle. We need more judges so we can fast track because we have a problem with immigration. So we need more judges to fast track these these illegals to be legitimate citizens of the United States. Oh no, Donald Trump's a fascist dictator. Oh my God, he wants to close the border. That fascist. He wants to protect children. He wants to stop trans athletes from being in women's locker rooms and in their sports. That racist Nazi. Oh my God. Trump is going to put tariffs on all these other countries. That fascist. He's racist. Those countries are poor. We couldn't take their money. We should give them more money. Give them more money. Let's just do that.
Because, of course, his firing is just as indefensible.
Okay, let me warn you. I sped this up to, let's see, I've got it to, I got it on 125. So, because it's an hour video. I don't know. Watching this on regular speed, it's a 57-minute video. So, let's see if we can tolerate it.
If not more so. In this new book, in 107 Days, Vice President Kamala Harris writes about predicting how bad Donald Trump would be in his second term as president. She says, quote, "I predicted all that. I warned of it. What I did not predict was the capitulation." About the grovel.
I told you. I warned you. So she didn't predict surrendering? Ceasing? I mean, resist an opponent or a demand? So she didn't predict that.
About the groveling, scared, rich owners of the LA Times and then the Washington Post pulling their paper's endorsements of her just before the election. She says, "The pre-capitulation of these powerful billionaires alarmed and dispirited me." As it turned out, they were early adopters. Of the feckless posture that would be embraced by a raft of business leaders and institutions once Trump was elected. They had just been the first in line to grovel.
Actually, I think they knew what was coming down the pike. Let's be real. I mean, the people who own these businesses that are wealthy knew they're going to benefit from a Trump administration and not a same old worse administration if Harris gets elected. I mean, I'm a layman. I'm just telling you what I think. I mean, I'm not an expert in politics. I'm just your average schmo, just like, most Americans just listening to this. But I do think that they saw what was coming. They're like, "What?" And they jumped ship with her. And I don't blame them. I mean, it was a smart thing to do. They're not going to come. She's not going to say that. I mean, it is all about politics, isn't it? It's all about politics.
And then she says this about what she'll do next. She writes, quote, "I wanted a seat at the table. I wanted to make change from inside the system. Today, I'm no longer sure about that because the system is failing us. At every level, executive, judicial, legislative, corporate, institutional, media, every single guardrail that is supposed to protect our democracy is buckling. I thought those guardrails would be stronger. I was wrong."
Okay, let's break this down. They went after Trump during an election. Used their authority. They usurped their authority and control over the judicial system to go after Trump. The hypocrisy knows no bounds. It's almost unreal. Again, like a goofball like me is picking up on this. I mean, what they're on every level of executive, judicial, legislative, corporate, and institutional, and media. What did they do? I just named one. They went after Trump. No holds bar. Boom. Full strong arm of the law. Dragging him through court, making him spend his money. Millions of dollars to defend goofiness over some real estate that he overestimated or underestimated. He's had documents at his house. Well, Joe Biden had a computer. Hillary Clinton had emails. No, I don't see them getting the hypocrisy. It knows no bounds. And media? Are you kidding me? All of a sudden, during the Biden and Harris administration, it was like I woke up one day, I got on YouTube, and all of a sudden, it's like one day everything's fine, and the next day, you can't say certain words on YouTube. You got to say alternative words, like unlifing yourself. Like we're all dumb. Talk about stifling speech. Speech and words have meaning to convey your thoughts to someone else. I mean, that's just how it has to be. But all of a sudden, the pronoun crap, all of a sudden, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of them got the memo. Stifling speech. They even kicked Trump off of Twitter and Facebook. All of it. The hypocrisy just knows no bounds. So now they're equating all of this, which they've done the past week, over Kimmel. Kimmel said something offensive in a time of like, bro, you should have waited, right? And then just say whatever you want to say, I guess. Obviously, you're going to say what you want to say. You got free speech. You can say it. But look, we all know there's a sensitive moment, and the FCC was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. But hey, it was Sinclair. It was these other affiliates who decided. The marketplace should decide. But they made a big deal about it. But nobody said. You couldn't even talk about it. You couldn't talk about COVID. You couldn't talk about getting a shot, or you were going to get demonetized or banned from YouTube or Twitch, Twitter, all of them, Facebook. You had to censor your own speech when you were online. Literally. Literally. Have we all forgotten? And we should never forget. We keep bringing it up and remind everybody. Like all of a sudden you couldn't say, you had to say unlife. You had to say pedo. You had to bleep out RAPE if you're having a discussion. Now, if somebody was being ugly and talking about, and using these references in a derogatory way, or just not just commentary and discussing topics, discussing predators, they were, and still to this day, to some extent, it's stifling our speech. But no, Hassan Piker can get on Twitch, talk about gutting capitalism, gutting them and letting their blood run out in the streets. It's just a hypocrisy here, and thank God Kamala didn't get elected. Look, we're just a couple of minutes into this, and it is just already a bunch of gobbledygook. It is just a bunch of gobbledygook.
But now, of course, the election is over. And with the election now over, the fight that we're in now is to shore up those guardrails, to rebuild them where they have fallen, to make powerful people less cowardly somehow.
We have to go tear down the wall that he just built and is still building to let more illegals back in. We have a fight to do, people. We don't want to make America great. What's wrong? We don't want mega. Why do we want to be a part of mega? Why do we want to be a part of Make America Great Again? There's a big fight ahead of us, y'all. And we got to take that fight to them. Look, the liberals better get on another page. You could be looking at another 10 to 20 years. They will not reign. And God forbid because politics shift, y'all. You know it does. I mean, I've seen Democrat, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen Democrats, Republicans, and generally they'd give a Republican 2 terms. They'd give the Democrat 2 terms. Bush Sr. got 1 term, but he was already in office for 8 years with Reagan. And then you had Clinton. Then you had Obama. So the pendulum's been switching. And since I was able to vote during Reagan, I'm telling my age, but hey, it is what it is. So I've seen it go back and forth. But as far as I can see, in my eyes and being in politics since I was 18, 19, more so in my later years, that I have never seen it this bad during the Biden and Harris regime. Never. Free speech was on attack. The borders were just chaos. People are getting killed by illegals driving cars drunk and running other people over and killing innocent people. That never would have happened if they were never here. That's my take on that.
To stop people and institutions from capitulating. And if they do capitulate, the job now, the fight now, is to get them to see they were wrong to do so and to get them to reverse themselves. That is the fight now. Kamala Harris says, when we fight, we win.
Loser.
Turns out that may be more important than ever after an election that you did not win.
Really?
Joining us now for her first news interview since the election is former Vice President Kamala Harris. Madam Vice President, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's weird to talk about you with you sitting here and me pretending you're not here.
Oh, it was awkward for me too. It's okay.
Now, I got this on 1.25, okay? So, because it's just long, and we need to get through this, because good Lord. So, it's fast speed, people.
How have you been?
I am well, all things considered.
Yeah.
I am well.
How have you been taking care of yourself since the election?
You know, I have an incredible family. I've been spending more time with them than I had for quite some time, cooking, and writing, and reflecting, and talking to a lot of people, making a lot of calls, receiving a lot of calls. So I've been busy.
Let me talk to you about this capitulation thing.
Yep.
It's really landed with me. I feel like we're all in the middle of it, but you articulating it in the way that you do, you've become
She loves saying that word. I bet that's going to be the new buzzword.
the patron saint of I told you so, in terms of people understanding the sort of warnings and predictions that you made about what Trump would be like. But you say, I predicted all of that. I warned of it. What I didn't predict was the capitulation. The billionaires lining up to grovel, the big media companies, universities, so many major law firms, I will note, including your husband's.
Yeah, and he spoke out about it.
He's been very vocal in criticizing it. He said they've all been bending to blackmail and outrageous demands.
Yeah.
Why did you not predict the capitulation? And what do you make of the effort to try to put some steel in the spine of those institutions?
So, as you know, I am a lifelong public servant, and but I've worked closely with the private sector over many years, and I always.
How closely did she work with the private sector? Was she down with feeling their pain? Really? No. No, she wasn't.
Believed that if push came to shove, those titans of industry would be guardrails for our democracy, for the importance of sustaining democratic institutions. And one by one, they have been silent. They have been, yes, I use the word feckless. It's not like they're going to lose their yacht or their house in the Hamptons. And here's the thing. Democracy sustains capitalism. Capitalism thrives in a democracy. And right now we are dealing with, as I called him at my speech on the ellipse, a tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump. And these
Okay. Just this past week, we all need to bring down and just calm. This is the left saying this. voices like Destiny, I'll calm down if Donald Trump does it first. Like, he wakes up every day and he has to live his life around what is, whatever Donald Trump says, how he's going to dictate the rest of his day, or what he's going to be pissed off about. Like, bro, get a life. Get a life. Seriously. But the rhetoric after Kirk's assassination, you know, it was from the left. And everybody was saying, look, y'all been saying he's a fascist, he's a dictator, sexist, homophobe for forever. And ramping up this thing against Trump and calling him that. And the people who, the mega, is what led up to Kirk's assassination. And here she is, guys. 2 days after the memorial, she's saying Donald Trump is a dictator. She's not saying anything good about what he's doing. Do we need to have a definition of dictator just flashed on the screen? I mean, seriously. But I just wanted to point out that they're continuing to say it. They're not pulling back. It seems like they just keep doubling down on what they know got them to lose in the first place by calling your opponent a fascist, a Nazi, a dictator. It doesn't work. Stop it. They need a think tank, a critical thinking tank, to sit around and figure out what's our plan, because this isn't working. This plan is not working. The ship has sunk. I couldn't do the woke, but hey, we're still infecting them in the schools, and we're still affecting them in the college. There's still some hope for us, but they need some more taglines. They need something else besides just attacking their opponent in such a heinous way. You need to attack them on policies, not word salad or name calling.
Titans of industry are not speaking up. And perhaps it is because his threats and the way he has used the weight of the federal government to take out vengeance on his critics is something that they fear, and I get that. I understand why they do. We've seen the demonstration of it. Perhaps it is because they want to please him and nominate him for a Nobel Prize. Perhaps it's because they want a merger approved, or they want to avoid an investigation. But at some point, they've got to stand up for the sake of the people who rely on all of these institutions to have integrity and to, at some point, be the guardrails against a tyrant who is using the federal government to execute his whim and fancy because of a fragile ego.
Okay,
I know.
Okay, in the criticism of Trump, she didn't give one thing to say to me. Why would I have cast my vote for you? Or why would I want to buy your stupid book? Or maybe vote for you in the future? She didn't give one thing, one iota of any kind of policy that she would have done different and how she would have done it. What is it that Trump is doing right now as far as policies concerned with the world and with America and how it benefits us? Are you going to tell me that you wouldn't have built the wall? Like, well, we just wouldn't have built the wall and everything would have been fine. Everything was fine. We told you everything was fine. We told you he's a dictator. The thing is she's not giving any substance. She's just attacking him and attacking other businesses, other big corporate conglomerates. They're just all with him because he's a dictator. They're just the boys gang, the white boys gang.
that your parents took you to protests in a stroller when you were a little kid, before you were literally able to be there to walk, and that you talked about the civil rights movement and its moral legacy being part of your moral core.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of the defenses that we tried to build up in advance of this type of a sort of would-be authoritarian takeover were about warning people about how serious the threat was and warning people.
Authoritarian takeover. That's what Trump is.
About what this could mean and what we were in danger of. Now that we're up against it, though, I'm not sure that we have great skills to actually not warn about it, but fight it. And if the problem is the system collapsing and the guardrails, as you say, collapsing, and people who have power, who ought to be titans, not acting in any sort of Titanic
and standing
way.
together, because there is safety in numbers, as the saying goes.
Yes. I wonder if
that was inside speak to all their leftist liberals. That was a message to them right there. There's safety in numbers. We could still destroy America if we just stick together. We could still do some serious damage. Damn. That right there was one of those conspiracy theory messages. We all just need, there's safety in numbers. That was a message. I said it here.
the American people who are repulsed by what Trump is doing and who are in public opinion polling very much against what he's doing, as you note in the book, are going to be turning their ire and their protest movement and their organizational capacity against these institutions that are failing as much as they are against Donald Trump himself and the administration, if that's the way the sort of resistance is headed.
So back to how you opened the show, I mean, talk about the power being with the people and the people making that clear with their checkbooks as it relates to the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel. We saw the power of the people over the last few days, and it spoke volumes, and it moved a decision in the right direction. I think that part of where we are now in terms of thinking about what the fight...
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it that the power of the check, the power of the purse, beckoned Disney to put Kimmel back in. I think it's the opposite. I think they're just going to hold on to him till his contract's out because he's a loser and he needs to just take the L. He just needs to take the L and go away.
It requires us, yes, to understand that we've got this administration and this president in front of us abusing the power that the people vested him with. But we also need to understand that this is bigger than Donald Trump. You know, part of what I write about, this stuff is decades in the making, Rachel. It didn't just happen overnight. You know, so much of what...
Yeah, we know the left, it didn't happen overnight. You've been trying to destroy us for decades with feminazism. Welfare, destroying the education system, creating the Board of Education. They should just do away with the Board of Education and let each state have. Now, I saw my video screen freeze, so I don't know if you know what. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with my system. They wanted to destroy the education system. I think we need to get rid of the Board of Education, let the states handle their own education. And look, if some states are pumping out like really smart people going to college, the numbers are up because we know they're dismal right now. Go read some stuff from Thomas Sowell. He's been doing this for decades. He's been talking about it since the early 80s. About how bad school is. And now it's even horrible. So yes, Kamala, this is been in the making on y'all's side, destroying and making us dumb. And not teaching the kids nothing.
What has indeed overwhelmed people, not to mention just scared the stuff out of people, is what we are witnessing is a high-velocity event. Yeah. We are witnessing something that has been happening so rapidly, and it feels chaotic. But what I would offer you is what we are witnessing is the swift implementation of a plan that was decades in the making. decades in the making. Project 2025 didn't just drop out of thin air.
Oh my God. Shut up. Project 2025. Guys, this is nothing but regurgitated word salad that got her dumped. She didn't get elected. Saying the same things. Get on the Board of Education, letting the states do it, then say your state, because I just realized I didn't finish that point. The states, got some states just kicking butt, man. Their scores are high. The kids are doing great. I mean, people are going to want to move to that state and move out of the other states. And we know what states those are. Who want to just feed propaganda and liberal garbage, gobbledygoo down their children's throats and not teach them anything. I want to see states start teaching critical thinking. Think, think. Analyze every situation. Gather facts before you jump on a bandwagon, especially the slogans that the left has just been so brilliant in drawing these young people in because they've been feeding them this crap in colleges. Don't send your kid to college or send them to a Christian college. Don't send them to one of them prominent colleges. They'll come back and you'll be like, oh my God, what happened to my kid? You won't recognize them.
That's a product of decades of work. Federalist Society, Heritage Foundation.
Oh,
Understand that
the Heritage Foundation, they're so wholesome and good. What is she saying? Ladies and gentlemen, go look up the Heritage Foundation. It was totally endorsed by truly Rush Limbaugh. She just crapped on it. She crapped on it, man.
that the implementation of a plan that's about trying to get rid of the Department of Education, deregulate industries, weaken the rule of law by over a period of time.
I have a video. You can go find it on the Board of Education. And I went over the history, when it got started, and how long our country went before we even had it. And guess what? They were the future builders. They were smart. Kids were smart. They were hungry. They were ambitious. They had critical thinking. Here comes the Board of Education. So the libs get a hold of it. Wow, what better way? So we could just stay in office forever. Let's dumb down the education since we have control of it. And I know a lot of you parents out there that are my age, her kids are grown, went through the school system and realized, oh my God, they have no books. And this was before even computers came out. Well, let's take away the books. Let's not talk about, don't tell them, let's not talk about the founding fathers. No. Because they were just white, racist slave owners. Not the fact that they risked their life. Let's don't tell them that some of them were actually killed fighting for democracy and the Constitution that we so are blessed to have today. No, let's not teach them that. Oh, no. They're white, racist old men who owned slaves. That's all they are.
Creating a system and through gerrymandering states so that we would now have the Supreme Court that we have. This stuff didn't happen overnight, and it did not happen just because of an election in 2024 or even 2016.
All right, everyone. Today I have Dr. Diane Mueller.
So when we talk about where the fight must go, there is the aspect of it that is about the immediate moment, such as the weight of the federal government being used to silence critics, citizens.
How did she sit there and say this when they did it? Trump's not silencing his critics. They were. They went after him. And actually, a couple of people in his administration actually went to prison for nothing. The hypocrisy knows no bounds.
And it must be about understanding that this did not just happen overnight, and we have to pay attention to an agenda that is not going to necessarily go away when this guy is finally termed out of office.
Well, let me ask you on that, Jerry.
Well, that's other conspiracy speak right there. They go, no, she's telling them. She's telling all her libtards, all the Satanists. This ain't going away, even when he's gone. Basically, she's sending a message. We have got to stick together. We've got to rally because goodness is beating the bad that we want. Virtue and goodness and wholesomeness and morality, spirituality, a revival that we saw and we have seen, witnessed all over the world this past week of coming to Christianity and coming to Christ. She says, we got to stick together because this isn't going away. Even when he's gone, it's not going away. We got to do something. That's hidden messages, people. I mean, I'm having fun with this, of course, but on some level, this is serious. This is, and even though I'm making fun, I think that's true. I think they are doing this. I think they are behind closed doors. Like, how are we going to overcome this? How are we going to stop them? Now, oh my God! So Charlie Kirk wanted 20,000 things. Now he's got over chapters. He's got over 50,000 chapters. So this is spreading. This was such an awakening that we're seeing before our eyes, and not just here, worldwide. And she noted. They're like, we need to do something. And what are they going to do? So just keep your eyes and ears open for catchphrases that they're going to be using. Are they going to keep saying he's a Nazi? Now, she just said he's a dictator. So this just aired. This is fresh. And she's saying this after everybody was saying, hey, man, y'all, I mean, the people on the right, and even some people, Democrats rather, maybe moderates, saying, maybe we shouldn't keep doing this. But I think they want to double down. I think she's wanting to double down, or they need to just huddle together and have some libtard think tank. How can we screw America? How can we get it back? So we're in power, and we can fund money on stupid programs. Thank you, Doge, for finding out about a lot of this stuff. Get rid of the spend. And where is all this money? And that's another thing is where... What the hell? Yeah, American people want to see accountability of how the tax dollars are being spent. Let's see, let's do a study on something completely stupid. Trans activists studies. How does it affect them in their younger years or something dumb? I don't know. What do they make up? 1%, if that, of the population? Stop it. Stop it. But yeah, I'd like to know where all this money that the Biden administration just ran through like water. Just boom. They spent so much stinking money on dumb stuff. I think it lined somebody's pockets, is what I'm saying.
Gerrymandering front, the White House has been very aggressive, pushing Republican-led states to gerrymander their maps to effectively give Republicans a major edge heading into the midterms next year. That has led to related responsive Democratic efforts, including in your home state of California. Do you support Democrats' effort to kind of fight fire with fire there? Will you be involved in that California measure, for example?
I absolutely support it. You mentioned Gavin earlier. By the way, Gavin has a great sense of humor, so he's going to be fine. But
did you warn him about the hiking thing? You did.
Yeah,
okay.
I've known Gavin forever. He literally has a great sense of humor. But let me say about what he is doing with redistricting. It is absolutely the right way to go. Part of what we've got to, I think, challenge ourselves to accept is that we tend to play by the rules. But I think this is a moment where you got to fight fire with fire. And so what Gavin is doing, what the California legislature is doing, what those who are supporting it are doing to say, you know what, you want to play? Then let's get in the field, let's get in the arena, and let's do this. And I support that.
I support that, but she didn't tell us nothing. What does she support? That we get in the ring? Gavin Newsom's got a good sense of humor? What? I thought she was going to say, I support that bill he just trying to pass, which ain't going to pass mustard. Where what are you afraid of? ICE, take that mask off. What is wrong with him? These people can be in danger and their families be in danger if somebody wants to come after them because they arrested one of their family members. Stop it. That's what I thought she was going to say. Well, yeah, I agree with him on this and what he's doing. No. It's some gobbledygoo word salad that you didn't tell me what. You didn't tell me nothing. You didn't tell me nothing, but I agree with that. I agree with his stance. Whatever that stance is, I agree with it.
Speaking of a sense of humor, your book is very funny, which I think helps a lot, given that there's a lot of
have to have a sense of
difficult
humor,
material.
yes.
I'm going to read something where I have to bleep myself in the middle of reading it out loud, sort of. This is the part when Trump told an audience, National Association of Black Journalists, told them that you happen to turn black and that you now wanted to be known as black. You say, on the plane that day when I first heard about Trump's remark, we patched in Brian Fallon, your senior advisor, communications advisor, on a call to strategize a response. Brian wanted me to punch back with a big speech about my racial identity, like the one Obama had given. I was so pissed that I didn't hold back. Are you effing kidding me? I was not about to take Trump's bait. He lies all the time, I told Brian. He throws out outrageous statements to distract from the real issues. Quote, today he wants me to prove my race. What next? He'll say I'm not a woman and I need to show my vagina? I don't even know if I can say that. Brian.
But it was true. It was true. She kept changing her, she said she was from India. Then she said she's black. I mean, look, I'm confused. I don't care what she is. What I'm concerned about is what she's saying. Doesn't matter what color somebody is. It's like, and you're in politics. What's your politics? What's your policies? What do you want to do? What you going to do for us lately? I mean, it's nothing. They've done nothing. And they're still doing nothing. They're still spouting nonsense. She attacks Trump over, this is so stupid. I did a video on Trump went to that, it was Black Journalists Convention or whatever it was called. And one of the women on the panel, Faulkner was there. Harrison Faulkner was there. And there was this other woman, black woman, was nasty, just nasty to Trump. I was like, whoa, that is just uncalled for. That's just rude. You're being filmed. You're in an audience. It doesn't matter if you don't like his policies. It doesn't give you the right to be just rude. I mean, yeah, she has a right to be rude. Okay, but should you? Just out of common courtesy?
On the other end of the phone fell silent. I imagined the deep crimson of his blush. All right, so first of all, you made me say it.
That really happened.
Yes, but how do you decide? I mean, in the moment, particularly when it's so ridiculous, it's funny. How do you decide when to not take the bait and stay off the terms that he's trying to set for the debate, and when to punch back? What did you learn about that in the process of going up against him?
So, I also talk about, the first 2 weeks.
Before she answers, instead of her taking the bait, no, you didn't take the bait, so what'd you do so you don't take the bait? This is what Kamala would do, though. Attack. Like, she probably has a paper up that says, whatever he says, just attack him personally. If he brings up policy, because you don't know shit, Don't talk about foreign policy. It brings d- I don't know what's going on with this. It might be my OBS. I don't know. It's kind of freezing up and crackling. If he brings up foreign policy, don't talk about it. Attack him personally. Bring up all the felons, all the charges on him. Just keep hammering at home, and you're going to do just fine. And that's what she did. That's basically what she did in the debates. That's what they usually always do. I got nothing. I got nothing. Well, just attack them. Just attack them personally. Just attack them personally.
That I was the top of the ticket. We had no polling. No polling had been done on me, so it was my gut.
Yeah.
And so I came up with this speech that actually was about, I was a prosecutor. I dealt with people who engaged in sexual abuse. I was attorney general. I took on people who engaged in fraud, on and on and on. And so I know his type.
I remember this line, yeah.
And because there's something about in the English language that phrase, I know his type, that does a lot of work for you, because it's something we all relate to, whether it was that boss, it was that person, whatever. I know his type. And so the character that I knew I was running against is someone, because he has shown it also. I mean, he did it with...
Are you really... What? You're running against his character? Let me understand this. Why would you not run on your reforms, your record that you were in the Biden administration for 4 years? You run on your record. Run on how you're going to improve things. No, what you did, and I don't know who your team is, because damn, I could have did a better job. And I'm not a lefty. Somebody decided, let's run on abortion, abortion, abortion. The border's fine. Everything's fine. You didn't bounce back when Trump says everybody's groceries are too high. And when he stood on the lawn and he had all those groceries laid out and how much they cost, that was so effective. Because that's the common folk, man. That's us. We go into the store like, damn. I go in with a $100 and it's God. I buy $50 worth of stuff that's now costing me $100. I mean, that's what was happening. Gas was crazy. Border out of control. But you're going to sit here and tell us that you ran against his character and against who he is personally? That is just beyond. Look, people do have to have charisma and be charismatic for people to gravitate to them. So yes, Trump has charisma and he's charismatic, he's funny, he's all of these things, but at the same time, he's hammering policies. That's all he was doing. This is what we want. We want the madness to stop. But you ran against him as a character, and that's what probably is what made you lose, because somebody decided to run on abortion, run on woke crap. It just didn't work.
President Obama, he did it with Secretary Clinton. He throws this stuff out that he thinks will be an individual's weakness or Achilles heel, with the intent to distract from the fact that, as it was in this campaign, he had no plan for actually bringing down costs and prices for the American people. He had very few plans for what he would actually do that was about the American people and not about an execution of his vengeance on his enemies. And I wasn't about to...
Well, I'll tell you what, since he has been in office, I haven't seen a vengeance, which he probably feels like having vengeance on you morons and what y'all did to him. Going through his wife's drawers when y'all raided his home. But you did nothing to Biden or Hillary, Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe. You did nothing. You did nothing about it. It's pathetic.
Fall for that bait. And the stakes were too high. The stakes were too high. You can't get in the gutter with that guy because that is the way that he distracts from the fact that, for example,
You know what? If she would have stood there on the podium and debated him on policy, it would have been something to see. I have yet to see a woman who's going to run for president, and don't bring up Hillary because actually Hillary was more articulate in policy than Kamala. But that just couldn't happen. That just couldn't happen. But to stand toe to toe with Trump, and Trump's on his game. Trump knows the game. Trump knows numbers. Trump is about business. And what is America? America's business. And that's what the American people wanted. And they want to hear it. They've been longing to hear it. And he's accomplishing it. He's doing it. He's making it happen. We're feeling it. We're slowly feeling it. But you guys, all you do is smear, bait and switch, dodge, and just we heard nothing of substance that you run on. One thing, what was it? You're going to give people $25,000 first-time home buyers or something, some ridiculous, whoever the hell came up with that. You just can't give anybody money to get a house. We all know what happened with Freddie Mae and Freddie Mac, and we had the housing collapse. I mean, what are you doing? This has just woke people up like, oh my God, this happened before.
example right now, he promised the people who voted for him that on day one he'd bring down prices. And I do believe, Rachel, that's one of the main reasons that the people who voted for him elected him because they believed he would do it. He lied. We're now in a position where unemployment is up, inflation is up, the cost of groceries is up. So, you know, as the vote.
I think the groceries have stabilized. The egg prices have came down. The border is closed. He's been putting out fires. Look, we all know what a mess he walked into. And now we're finding out that the power of the pen, his son was in there when signing these documents to give all these people pardons. I think there's been some whistleblowers, and I've been looking to see. I want to see more if they're going to make anything out of that, because that's a big deal. What else did Biden not know he's signing? Now, it could be a conspiracy. I don't know. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm just saying this is allegations. This is what I've heard a little bit of. I haven't heard a whole lot, but it caught my attention. They're sitting in a room getting Sleepy Joe to sign stuff, and his son's in there, the crackhead? Are you kidding me? And she sits here and says this stuff. It's amazing. It's astounding. All this is going to go down in history. And we want people to write the correct history, not some made-up crap.
Folks used to say, don't fall for the okie doke. Just don't.
All right, I have lots more to ask you. We'll be right back with Vice.
Again, she didn't tell us nothing. All she did was attack Trump, and she told us so. What have we learned here, class, from this author and excerpts from her book? Trump is bad. Trump is mean. Trump is a racist, a sexist. He's a dictator. He's a fascist. They're mean. I told you so. He's a dictator. He's going to infringe on your free speech. Yep, he's going to take your free speech away. Like we all forgot about all the censorship on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all of it. We remember. We remember how we were being censored. Facebook, people being banned, blocked, because they wanted to discuss in a logical manner about COVID. Oh no. The administration sent out a form telling them all. I mean, if that is huge, and I want to hear some outrage. We should never forget that they did that.
Vice President Kamala Harris, her new book is called 107 Days. It comes out tomorrow. It's going to be a massive bestseller. We've got more with Vice President Harris. Just
massive. Who is buying this book? My God.
We're here live with former Vice President Kamala Harris. Her new book about her 2024 run for the presidency is called 107 Days. It's out tomorrow. Madam Vice President, I have to ask you about the part of your book that has people most upset thus far, which is some of your writing about the decision around the president abandoning his reelection campaign, the timing there and how it was handled. You say in part, page 46, it's Joe and Jill's decision. We all said that like a mantra, as if we'd all been hypnotized. Was it grace or was it recklessness? In retrospect, I think it was recklessness. The stakes were simply too high. This wasn't a choice that should have been left to an individual's ego, an individual's ambition. It should have been more than a personal decision. Whose decision?
What? It was Jill's decision. Everybody knowed it. It wasn't Biden's. I'm just speculating here because he just seemed, guys, he just wasn't there. And she knew it. They all knew it. PMSNBC knew it. They all knew it. They all kept it quiet. But yet, the conservatives are fascists. They're Nazis. They're sexist. They're homophobic. They don't like gay people. Just say the same crap over and over again. Look, let's see. We're already an hour into this. This is good Lord. This has got 30 more minutes of Kamala. Now, I'm lazy. I didn't want to just clip this all the way down. Yeah, I'm by myself, guys. I don't have a team where I can go, hey, I need you guys to do this for me. Well, I'd say, could y'all please clip this down to the funniest things that are, that are like, whoa, they really stood out of the hypocrisy, which it's all of it. So, I mean, every time she spoke, there was something you could just rebuttal and just, go like, what is this? This is for real. This is for real that she is sitting here saying the same. She sounds exactly the same. Like there's been no growth. There's been no, wow, I've learned a lesson here that pulling a bus outside the DNC to give free abortions. That was a smart idea. And then have at her big shows, big banners, tell people Beyonce's going to be there and then doesn't show up. She says that she ran against his character and him and the big conglomerates around him. She only had 107 days. If she had a better message, if she had something that was tangible to reach the normal folk, like me, I listened to her speeches, people. I did. It was painful, but I did it. I turned it on. I was like, damn. I sat and listened. It was all women's rights, gay rights, abort your kid, Trump's a fascist. I have a plan. I have a plan, but the plan is not make America great. That's not the plan. How could you be against that? Make America great. Well, somebody would say, well, it's just a slogan. Well, he means it. Trump, I think even more than Reagan, and I loved Reagan. Trump truly loves this country. Reagan truly loved this country. I voted for Bush, but in my lifetime, I guess you'd say my lifetime of voting, Reagan and Trump are the two that stand out the most to me that you truly felt they love the country. Trump loves this country. Damn, he's all about he wants the streets clean, he wants all the trash picked up. Some woman on PMSNBC or CNN was like, "What are they going to do? What does he have the National Guard do?" So we saw a thing. They were just picking up trash. Yep, that's right. They were. That's a part of cleaning up because liberals had let illegals in here bringing their drugs, creating homeless encampments, trash everywhere. Yeah, they got to pick up trash. And look, I I get so mad about this, which I almost want them to put cameras everywhere on the streets because you go down my street, I got a back street, going down a street to take my son to school, crash, crash. Let me know in the comments. Y'all ride down the road. How much trash you see in certain areas? People just ride, just throw their shit right out the window. Bottles, liquor bottles, water bottles, McDonald's trash, any kind of fast food trash. Sometimes the whole bag of trash, and it just explodes on the side of the road. Now, maybe sometimes it fell off the back of a truck and they didn't know it, but there's a lot of trash. A lot of trash. I don't know what's going on. But it made me think of it when that woman was being sarcastic about, well, you got the National Guard in there and all they're doing is just picking up trash. They're not really helping with crime, are they? No, they're just picking up trash. They're doing everything. He wants to beautify DC because it's been a shithole forever. And who's been running it? Who's been running it? Anybody? Anybody? Who's been running DC? Dare I say? DEI hires? I remember Rush Limbaugh said that this stuff started, gosh, 25, 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm old. When I was really listening to Rush, I started listening to Rush in my early 30s. And I'd hear him talk about this. That's how I come to know about it was through him. That they were electing these people into positions of mayor, governor, city council, uh, teachers boards in their local areas for the schools. And they had no business being there. If they don't know what they're doing. It takes a lot to run a city. I'm not going to sit here and say I could do it. I couldn't. I'd have to study. And I sure would want a list of where my predecessors were spending money. Where are you spending the most money? I want to see a list, itemized. Where's all this money going? I want to know, what is the school board doing with all this money? And the schools are pumping out dumb kids who can't read. What's going on? And I don't want to hear the teachers want a damn raise. We got to get to the bottom of this. But he's done a phenomenal job because he loves America. He wants the city to be beautiful. He says, I want it to be clean. I want things to not. There it goes. Apologize. He wants it clean, beautiful, crime. People can walk down the street, go to the go to the restaurants, the beautiful city, walk and go to the beautiful restaurants and eat with your family and enjoy and be safe. Why can't we have that in every city? If it took the military and the National Guard to nip it in the bud, hire and train more police officers, set up stations, whatever, in the most crime-ridden areas, boom, we're putting a station right there. Every city in America. And then make it to where they don't have to keep a military presence. Look, we keep a military presence in other countries. We have bases. We're in other countries, help peacekeeping. Why can't we peacekeep here? Maybe we need the military walking the streets with the police officers, with the detectives, with ICE, National Guard, all of it, until we stomp out the crime. And then keep a relatively small staff. So if there's a little uptick in some crime, send the troops back in. Let's go. We got a hot spot over here. We're going to take care of it. And that way you can walk down the street with your kids. You can have your kids playing in your front yard. You're not worrying about it. And there you have it. That's my take. That is my take on that. Look, I'm going to put this link in the description, people. I cannot watch any more of her. So if y'all want to watch the rest of it on regular speed, by all means, I will link this video in the description. And I advise, watch with care.